All right. Mic is working. Might hear some background noise because my air conditioning's on and I am not turning it off. And camera is off because I'm not wearing a shirt and I'm not putting one on because it is way too warm for shirts. How's it going, Jack? Good to see you. We finished up the last pages that needed the flats done, so we can move on to base color here. And we'll see how that goes. Click to the layer below, and we are going to be pulling reference of color from this here. And one thing we are going to be consistently doing, I need a color from layer, is we are actually going to be checking, you can't see it, I gotta move it here. Down here, you'll see we have the CMYK range. We are going to be consistently checking the K range of our colors from now on. So, yeah. There's a reason for that. And unfortunately, it's a reason I'm going to have to deal with, because, you know, I was an idiot. Oh wait, hold on. No, that... There we go. Okay. Alright. You smell a funny story? Well... it's not really all that funny. It's just... So, when I first started working on this comic, I asked a friend, who's a really good colorist, Doeg. I've mentioned him before, I believe. He's done comics for like stuff like Coda and Girl in the Glim and stuff like that, as well as a lot of other stuff for animated projects and whatnot. And I asked him, I was like, okay, well, so what's your advice? Oh, see? You see that? Those pants. These pants are gonna have to be changed to that. And it doesn't, as a quick side, the reason I do that, the reason I'm being really careful about that is because K levels make things expensive for print. So you don't want K levels. K levels are not good. See? Bad. No. That's not what we want. The nice thing is that I theoretically should be able to get rid of the base stuff pretty straightforward wise, but it's the real challenge is gonna be other things. But anyway, so back to the story. So I asked this guy, this colorist and printed work and whatnot. I'm like, what's like the most important thing, right? Like, what should I be aware of? And he's like, oh yeah, watch your K levels. And I'm like, okay, I will do that. Didn't do that. Now I have like 30 pages of color correcting to do. So I'm just like, great. All K is so CMYK. It's K and CMYK. So for print, so for screens, they work off of RGB, right? You've heard of RGB, red, green, blue. It's how they mix the colors and everything like that. And the way that screen color works is actually really simple. Essentially it's light, right? So as you pump more light in, it gets closer to white, right? You'll get closer to the value that is basically just pure white. Whereas with printed material, they use CMYK. And CMYK is cyan, magenta, and yellow. The K level is sometimes referred to as ketone, but it's just black. It's just used as black into printing. And that is apparently expensive. Black is apparently really expensive to implement. So you, at least for printing purposes, color printing. So the goal is to avoid it as much as possible. That way it's nice and cheap, relatively speaking. That's not one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We have 20% there. That's going to be a little bit more annoying to deal with. But, so stuff like that is going to be a bit of a problem going forward. Truth be told, just getting rid of the K levels. Heard of CMYB as a color scale versus RGB? Usually you don't see it CMYB because B is often confused for blue. So they call it black so that there's no confusion, or they call it K so that there's no confusion there. So yeah, I've actually never heard it referred to as CMYB. It might be in certain instances, but I've just never seen that myself. And look at that, more freaking black. And the kind of hazard of doing this is, like, if I just eliminate my black level, it'll change that, but it shouldn't change it too much, honestly. That's probably what I'm going to do. Honestly, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go back and just eliminate the black levels anyway, and only color correct where I need to. Because let's take this page for example here, real quick. So if I go to my color layer, my base color layer, right here, and I see, oh, I have 29% black. If I just lower that and do that, it's like, okay, well, that still looks good. But if I go to color picker, I still have 26% black from a variety of things, including not only the shadows. Oh, that's funny. Hold on. Hold on a second. There we go. But the darks as well. And so if I bring up the darks, that has 8% shadow. If I bring up the shadows, that has 26% K levels. So everything else, you know, has this junk in it, basically, right? So what I and I believe, let's see, yeah, that's that. Hold on, if I pull from, let me try pulling from layer. Yeah, okay, so it's 25% or whatever the frick. But if I take that, I lower that, and I do that, I mean, that would work. It's not as dark, so what I might have to do is like pull into like a blue tone a little bit more, or push up the yellow, push this back. So, and kind of just sort of rebalance to get closer to the tone that I want, but we won't bother for now. We can just close this. Do not save. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit more challenging because I'm gonna have to go through every individual layer and like fix it basically. These trees are what color? What color are these trees? I can actually mix something here. And the annoying part is, like, let's say I go over, oh, the color wheel. The color wheel is really nice. The color wheel is like great. Because I can be like, oh, yo, let me just grab, I see what the problem is. A color real quick. That looks pretty good. That actually kind of looks like crap. But if we then go over here, oh no, it has 44% black in it. So I actually have to actively like go back and forth and correct. And just be aware of that a little bit more. Because mixing colors via CMYK is kind of confusing. Yo, readout. I'm just talking about, you know, the annoyance of having to color correct so that there's minimal K levels in your color work, so that it doesn't cost a fortune to print. So you know. Let's see. I forget, Rita, if you do. I know I've seen your stuff around on like the guild and stuff like that. You do. Do you do comics? Can't remember. Or are you primarily writing and stuff like that? There we go. Actually, I don't know how I feel about this color either. Let's try lightening this up. What's going on? Oh, whoops. Oh, nice. I must be thinking of someone. I think I'm thinking of someone else then. Yeah, I've been needing to get into and a fan. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, you're a fan of the Iron Age and everything. Yeah, I need to get into writing myself though. Get back into it. It's kind of interesting because I've been out of it for so long that it's probably going to be a bit of a challenge to get back into it. Let's go with more of a green tone like that. We'll go with that for now. As time goes on, I can adjust the colors as I need to. And then this is going to be kind of bluish. More blue, a bit more green. Actually, I'm gonna yeah, we want more color than that. All right. Yeah, that is a real challenge. That's kind of where I'm at a little bit with a much more sophisticated project that I want to work on. I really, really want to work on it, and I actually I almost have all the resources to be able to do it. The hardest part is going to just be getting the words down, because it's inspired by the more sophisticated writing and stuff that you saw in like the classic sort of conceptual suspense and conceptual sci-fi stuff you saw back in like the 50s and 60s, or even a little bit earlier in radio programs in the 40s. But the challenge of that is that it's a very like, it's got to be done right, you know. It's not it's not whimsical. It's very grounded. It's very, you know, mature in its tone. So that takes a level of skill that I know I can do it. I'm just so out of it that like it's been so long since I really did it that it just isn't realistic for me to do at the minute. So I totally get that. Actually, no. Alright, I want to see if I can get this page done as far as base color goes. I'm probably gonna do base color for everything and then go back and do lighting because it really helps to separate all that. Yeah, that is definitely a challenge. I don't so much have that issue, so unfortunately I don't have any real good methods for like dealing with that, but I think it's more a matter of like flow. Because one thing that I really notice that makes me kind of, when I do jump around to different projects, is that like there's this real just 1 second. How do I want this to look? I'm almost thinking more of a, not that yellow, but in this we can do, whoa, oops, oh shoot. Ah, doggone it. Whatever, okay. The rocks were done wrong. But it's when there is this like lack of direction. That's the biggest challenge, right? And so what I've found is what oops, is having a much clearer plan of action on like how to actually, you know, tackle it or whatever. I just realized. There we go. Okay. Right, there we go. Okay. Got it. I need to lock this. This doesn't need to be done anything more. So, I mean, that's one thing that helps with like animation is like a literal list of like how your progression actually functions. If you don't have that, then it kind of feels like you're flailing around, and so you're much more likely to like be like, oh, this isn't moving, therefore I'm going to go to something that will move, because you're always constantly kind of mulling things over in your head, right? And so it's been really important to come up with a like through line of action for, especially for like this comic and stuff like that. There was a lot of hesitation in terms of working on this comic for a while because I didn't know what my process was. The only downside to coming up with a process for something is that it's kind of limiting in that, like, let's say you develop, I need to push this again. Oops. Let's say you develop a system but it doesn't actually give you the result you're really looking for. If you start to break that system, then you might as well not have that system. Is that? Let's see. I think that's. Oops. Come on. There we go. And so it can be kind of annoying, especially if you're really like sensitive to having the editor on your shoulder. And so, yeah, that's one of the big challenges of that sort of style of, you know, coming up with a system, is it doesn't always give you the result you're looking for. So it's this balancing act. Especially with writing, because I feel like writing is so much more like, maybe from my perspective, because I've been so far out of it, But writing, I just don't know how to structure writing in a productive way. Like, I know that it's like, okay, hit your page limits and stuff like that, but I don't have any kind of infrastructure for something like that, because like a big barrier for me is that everything I've been storytelling visually for so long that I actually have a really hard time now wanting to figure out an interesting way to describe things. And so that's been my kind of barrier as far as really getting into a more narrative-driven story, where it's you know, the artistry of words and such. I've just been really out of practice with it. What do we want to do with the blue here? For now, oops. What the? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that actually, that works. Yeah. You want something very dark. More green. Where? So as CMY, so this is kind of the challenge, right? As CMYK blends, it goes more towards black. And so what you'll get is you'll get these grays and these blacks and things like that. And that's not exactly what I'm going for. So that's the challenge, is how do we push... Oops. How do we push into... what color am I going for? I'm going for more of a blue, so high cyan, less yellow. And what we will do is we will actually use texture and layering to create kind of silhouette effects going on in the background. Maybe push back, push forward a bit more. Yeah, that'll work for now. That's beginning to look all right. So we'll do stuff with the lighting. I suspect I really have my work cut out trying to replicate the color that I was getting in the past 30 pages in a more CMYK friendly fashion. I'm gonna have to really learn some new techniques. Crap. Because you really can't just pull the blacks down, black levels down, and expect it to like look good. Because if it's part of the color, then that's that. let's see. We'll have to see, though. One thing that is kind of nice is I do put more of an emphasis on light than shadow for the most part, but some of the pages are very dark, and I suspect are heavily influenced by the K levels. So I'll have to really kind of rack my brain on how to fix that. To be fair, I'm making it for digital first, so gonna be interesting finding a happy medium. Oops. And doesn't have any blemishes. Oh wait, yes it does. Those do too. We're actually, hold on. We're actually gonna do more of a... Not that dark. Maybe darker, actually. Sure, why not? Oh, dang it, it put black in there. I don't know why it did that. Oh, let's see. Actually, speaking of other projects and getting the resources needed, I finally got a camera fixed. So now I have a tape drive camera that I can pull off digital video from, which I'm pretty excited about. I've actually got a couple of those, but this one's actually a nice camera. So I'm looking forward to using that as an effect. Create kind of an interesting experience, but that's not going to be for a while, probably. I would at least like to get 3 scripts written before I start production. And I haven't even really genuinely started on one, so got some stuff to get done. Wait, what the? Why is there K? Okay, that's... If it just randomly puts... What the heck is going on? Well, if it just randomly puts K into stuff, then... It does! Oh, that's frustrating. How the heck am I supposed to do that, then? That doesn't matter, then. Shoot. Hold on, I gotta look something up. The problem is no one talks about, like, color models like this and stuff like that. Measuring color management models. The colorants of primaries. Black point. One device to another. Color profiles, which this does have color profiles. Okay, we'll use blah blah blah. Even our desktop inkjet printers. The common way to print the desktop inkjet is by using the manufacturer's printer driver. Run the colors and put down the ink on the paper the way the manufacturer has intended it. This usually gives pleasing results. If you want more control over how much ink for each color is laid down on the paper and you want to maximize the printer's dynamic range, PostScript RIP is a better choice. A RIP, short for raster image processor, bypasses the RGB to CMYK driver altogether unless you handle CMY. Canals is a complete printing system. Well, it doesn't matter. Frick, am I gonna have to do over 100 pages of color correction? hold on. Hold on. Let's go view color profile, previous settings. So here's the different profile settings that we can take a look at. And if we go down to CMYK US, I think it would be sheet fed uncoded. It might be coded. And we go to the tone map, we'll see. So if we go to ketone, we do have black, but that's primarily from, oh, come on, the line work, you'll notice. Which is a thing you can do and all that. I don't freaking know. But that's really irritating because it just keeps putting black tones. Okay, one second. So if I do, okay, so lower this, push this again to a darker tone, and color it again. This is a 0 ketone color field, and then I go over here and so it automatically puts it in, even though it really shouldn't. I do all this. Okay, so that color right there. So if I go to view, I go to color profile, I go preview settings, I say okay, put it on sheet fed code 2, I say okay. And then I select, it still puts black tones in. How am I supposed to check this? Well, it doesn't matter, apparently. Apparently it doesn't matter. Apparently it is impossible to actually set this to a profile that will actually keep black tones not in random places. So that's fun. This program is designed for comics, by the way, so this better not come back to bite me, I swear. If that's the case, then I'm just going to do my thing. I'm just going to go back and use my typical methods, because apparently it actually doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll go with that. And the lighting will really transform this panel. Now for the grass, we're going to do just the grass to be a little more like that. We're actually going to set this to be. Do we want it brighter or more green? A little bit of both. I like the brighter wood tones. And then this, we can set this to be much brighter. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know, maybe the way that, maybe CSP is really smart and handles all of that color crap for you. No, I'm not coping. Shut up. This isn't gonna make my life an absolute nightmare when I try to actually have this thing printed in the future. No, that's not gonna happen. Let's go and finish this off here. What? I actually probably should reset it back to the RGB profile since it doesn't matter. Let me do that here. Which one was it? That actually might be my printer. Huh. Actually, yeah. I have a bunch of... Ooh. That's actually really cool. I have a bunch of stuff. Is this one the... Shoot, what's the standard? Wow, that's really crazy. Maybe it does. Maybe the color profile does actually solve that problem. That would be nice. Either way, I'm going to have to do a little bit of profile correction, but... but I want it on RGB for now. What is this? That is hardware configuration to work. Man, I don't recognize... I think it's this one. Whatever. Anyway. We're going to do RGB for now because I'm working towards digital anyway for now. But I think the profiles actually do make it more efficient. I don't know. We'll see. Go back a bit. That's better. All right. Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. But now I'm curious. So if I... It does. It didn't matter. Wow, amazing. If that's the case, then I am going to use the original colors. So I did select those for a reason. Not that it really matters, but you know. Where's her skin? There it is. She doesn't hold a chess piece, does she? Dang. Okay, well, gotta open up the first chapter then. And she is holding the black king, so I need to pull from the black and white here, and pull from here. That's character flats. There it is. For whatever reason, I really separated these. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, let's close out, do not save. Back here, here, okay. So that, and this, I bet you, yep, 28%, whatever. Apparently it doesn't matter. Now, blemishes. Yes, here we are. There we go. Okay, so now. Actually, let's do hands first. Oh, dang it, I need the blemishes on the chess piece now. Where would that be? Maybe this page? Yeah, here we are. It's funny how much I used to separate. You're not safe. My layers like that. Is this 70? Oh. Panels are. Actually, that's going to be done on a background layer, so I'll do that later. That's quicker. So that's another color to change here. Come on. Oops. Wait, what am I doing? That's not color of her leg. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Man, that is so irritating. Press shift because I want you to add to... There, jeez. There we go. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to handle the background quite yet, but I have time to figure that out. That'll all be on a background layer, so I don't have to worry about that right now. Once I finish this up, I am going to be done for the day here, basically. Actually, no. Okay, now we can do, yeah, this stuff here. And we're actually almost wrapped up, so I won't be going on to another album after this one, because it's about to end, and it'll be perfect, because why not? Okay. Well, that's the base color for now. There's a couple other things to do, like the grass here and there, but I'll worry about that later. For now, actually, you know what? I won't. Hold on. It's quite simple, really. Thought about using a different color tone for the grass, but actually it makes more sense to do it this way. Okay, that I'll worry about later for now. Yeah, okay, you know, whatever. I'll fix that later. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. First color page is done as far as base color goes, and so we got all these pages to do. We'll figure it out as we go. I need to read up on how CMYK actually works in Clip Studio Paint, so that'll be fun. Anyway, out of curiosity, is there anyone to go hang out with? Let's see here. Nope. Not there. Nope. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Then in that case, we're just going to wrap up. I'll be back next week. More work, more stuff, more time. Hopefully, color flatting will be done by then. Should be. Hoping to get another couple pages done tomorrow, possibly. And then wrap it up next week, and then do lighting and stuff like that. And lighting shouldn't take too terribly long, so we're getting there. But yeah, all right. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you next week.